What's up, everyone? Mark Lobliner, TigerFitness.com, coming to you live. So I used to love doing these. I got away from these because I was traveling a lot, but I'm trying to be more grounded and here at home. And basically, if I have 20, 30 minutes in the day between meetings, between calls, I want to spend it answering everybody's questions. And I also need a topic so I have something to talk about. So maybe it can spark some conversation between all of us. Okay, so I wanted to talk about my current training. Okay, now, if you don't remember, if you don't follow me a lot, about 3 weeks ago, my daughter, Cami, and my business partner, Bryce at Legacy of Carbon, we headed over to my gym, well, a gym that I own part of. It's the Tiger Fitness Gym in Loveland, Ohio. And the bottom line is we saw the greatest presentation ever by Laura Phelps. Now, she holds world records in powerlifting in 7 different weight classes. So I knew about conjugate training from Westside. Who doesn't? But I didn't know how to implement it, and I didn't know how to make it work for me. So what was really awesome is that we learned about this. And my daughter, who is 16 years old, who you see in the thumbnail, basically my daughter is my best friend. Of course, my sons are my best friend too. My daughter is 16. She's older, and we're actually starting a business together. Yes, it's actually her business. I'm just here advising. Think about me as an unpaid consultant, where she is going to do something within the nutrition field, and it is launching very soon. It's not going to probably apply to a lot of you guys, but it's going to be absolutely amazing for youth athletes of the female gender. It's going to be amazing. And she put a ton of work into this. I'm so proud of her. And if I'm going to invest in anything, it's going to be my own family. So we went out there, and my daughter does hold every state record in powerlifting, from the bench press to the squat to the deadlift to the overall, as does my son, who's 14. My son is doing soccer and wrestling concurrently alongside weightlifting, because he is also a powerlifter. So he has no time to train with us. He might jump in here and there. But so my daughter and I have been training together. And so basically what I've been doing is a modified 6-day conjugate program. With that being said, I totally underestimated how much warmer it got in this house since I was outside. So I'm going to take off my shirts. I'm going to take off my hoodie, and of course, get a little nipple slip right there. So check it out. So what is my training split right now? And as I'm going, I want you guys to ask questions. It doesn't have to be about this. It could be about politics. It could be about finance. It could be about relationships. It could be about lifting, training, supplementation. Whatever you want to ask me, that's cool. Now, the good thing is, if nobody asks anything, no big deal. I have a static video that's staying on YouTube. But I'll tell you what, my body has been changing. I'm currently between 213 and 216 pounds in the morning before eating and all that good stuff. And my body just seems to be changing in a good way. Now, let me explain. It seems like I'm just as lean as I used to be. And let me see if I get an ab shot, right? So I still got the ab veins, still got all that, right? So I'm just as lean as I was, but it seems like I have more volume in my muscles. It seems like I'm recovering pretty well, and I'm just enjoying the hell out of this training methodology. Now I'm going to explain what I do, what my days are. It should probably take around 4 minutes, but Tony, I see your question. I'm about to answer it as soon as I get done with my spiel. Again, ask all the questions, bank them up, because I'm here for you guys. I have at least a half hour set aside. Let's do this. So here's the thing. So I've been completely crushing it in the gym. And again, I'm training with a 16-year-old girl who happens to be stronger than, well, most men I've ever trained with, right? Like, she's repping 225 on squats, right? Like, she's crazy strong. So here's how my program is laid out. And I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not telling you to try it. I didn't make this up. I modified it a little bit, but this is based on Westside Conjugate. And I am thoroughly impressed with how the Conjugate program has its heavy lifts. It has a max effort day and a dynamic day. So max effort would be your standard 6 sets of 2, 8 sets of 2, even going as low as 1 rep, sometimes 3 reps, sometimes 5. You could change it based on what you need or what you want to do, based on what your programming is. Different people will interpret conjugate differently, but conjugate was brought to us by Louis Simmons. It was brought to the US by Louis Simmons, but it was adapted from the old Soviet Union. The Soviets actually used this training methodology. Louis just put his spin on it. So here's our workout. Here's our split. And and it can vary based on how we feel. For example, I'll tell you what I did yesterday. Today's an off day, actually. I'll tell you what I did yesterday and how I modified it to my needs. So for example, here would be a standard workout. So Monday, I will do a upper body or a bench press, max effort day. So max effort bench press, what would that mean? Well, you're going, depending on what rep scheme you use, at about 85 to even 95% of your 1 rep max. Now, I'm not one to test my 1 rep max unless I'm actually at a powerlifting meet. Even then, I'm probably going to undershoot it because I don't want to get injured. It's not worth it to me, right? I'm not going to go for that all-time best PR. I'm going to go for something I know I could hit, and I'm going to hit it, and I'm going to hit it with great form, and I'm going to walk off. And I do plan on doing a powerlifting meet beginning of April in Brentwood, Tennessee. It's actually at a powerlifting gym locally to me, which I'm very excited about. I was supposed to do it on November 19th, but I had to call it off because I have to take my son Preston to a soccer tournament in Atlanta. So let's move forward with it. So Monday would be a max. And again, Monday is a day I'm using generically. Some days I don't hit what we do. And here's the thing, we modified it to be up to a 6-day-a-week training program. So it might be over an 8-day period. It might be over a 10-day period. It might be over a standard 7-day period, but we take off days when we feel we need it. For example, today, Cammie's got soccer season. I'm an old man. We needed an off day. Okay. Both of us been beating it up, getting in the gym, really, really, really going hard and beating our PRs every single time. So for example, on Monday, it's our max effort bench press day. So I will warm up with slight jumps. Say I'm doing 1 plate, 2 plate, then I hit 315. After that, I go for my working sets. This week I did 365 pounds for 6 sets of 2. Now, the last 2 sets were hard, but I got all the reps, which means that I could go up next week. It means that I can handle that weight and I can go up. Can I put 405 on the bar and get it? Probably. Will I? No. 1 is I'm older. 2 is I'm working up. I don't want to take away the opportunity to progressively overload just because I can get it. Because progressive overload doesn't mean you go 100% every time. It means you add weight, reps, volume, and or frequency and other things, time under tension to your program. That's progressive overload because I'm still interested in gaining lean mass. So after we do the max effort bench, let's say 6 sets of 2, which is the rep scheme we chose. After that, what we'll do is we'll move on to dumbbells. Okay. This time we did 5x5 dumbbell bench press. So for me, I worked up to 150 pounds. I wasn't able to hit all of the sets for 5 reps, 150 pound dumbbells, 150 in each hand. I posted that on the Instagrams. So did that 5 sets of 5. After that, we moved on and we did some lateral raise for shoulders. And then we did some triceps. So again, lower volume, but when you're doing bench like that, to do bench, warm up, and do all that good stuff, it's going to take you about 40 minutes. Now, my warm-up takes more time than ever. I do some dynamic hip movement. I do some glute ham raises. I'll do some low back extension. I'll do some shoulder mobility work. My warm-up can take 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm already an hour and a half in. I'm already an hour in by the time I get to my second movement. So I don't want to be in the gym more than 90 minutes. I have a job and I have stuff to do. And my daughter goes to school after we train. We train around 5:30, 6 a.m. in the morning. So we literally have a time constraint. So we hit that. So after that's done, so that's day 1. So you have basically, we do a chest movement, another chest movement, normally a higher rep chest movement. And then we do some shoulders, sometimes shoulder press, sometimes lateral raise. I did leave out, we did rear delts as well. Okay. After the lateral raise, and then a tricep movement. Again, on those, I'm not going as hard or as heavy and my reps are higher because what is a 2-rep set really going to do on tricep press downs? So that's day 1. Day 2, we're going to move into a max effort squat. Max effort squat for me this week. Normally I do multiple exercises. This week, I decided to not just do box squats, which Laura Phelps is a fan of doing nothing but box squats until it's really close to a competition. She thinks they're safer and thinks they're better to use. However, I wanted to test myself and see how I did. So I actually did 3 sets of 2. I'm going to post the video of me doing the squat, 3 sets of 2, past 90 degrees with 375 pounds. After that, that's after warming up. Again, my warm-ups take a while, and I could do a whole new video about what my warm-ups are. In fact, I'll have Cami film it at the gym tomorrow. If you guys want to see that, just let me know in the comments in the chat section if you're on right now. So, I do my warm-ups, I do my squats. So after I did straight squats, 375, I then went and I got the transformer bar from Kabuki. Think of it like a safety bar. And I worked my way up. Same thing. I wanted to warm up on a box. Now the box is at or slightly below 90 degrees. And I worked up and I was exhausted, believe it or not, from the regular squats. And I worked up to, I believe it was 3 sets of 2 with 335 pounds. Again, not a ton. Normally after that, I would do some hip movements. I would do some leg press movement for a little bit higher reps, maybe 5 to 8 reps, but I was spent. So I stopped right there. But again, what you could do after that is you got your leg press, you got your hack squats, you do some lower back movements. Again, you could do a lot of things. So day 3, and again, I'm going to leave off days off here because we have a 6-day cycle that could run as much as every 7 days or every 10 days. Remember, your body doesn't know the weeks, right? In fact, the Hebrews use a whole different calendar than we do. So I don't look at it as 7 days. I take off days when I need it, or with my daughter playing sports when she needs it for a game or whatever, and I'll take my off days during that. Generally speaking, we will average between 5 and 6 training days per week. 2 days off is about normal. Last week it was 1, which is probably why I was pretty beat up this week. So the third day would be a dynamic bench press workout. Dynamic meaning that we're going to go for speed. So I'm still keeping my reps around 2 to 3, maybe 5, but normally 2 to 3. But I will do bench press for as much speed as possible. So look at it at around 50 to 70%. If you use bands, use about 50% of your 1 rep max, and then you add bands to it if you can, if your gym equips that. And then what I would do for that is I would do like 10 sets of 2 as fast as possible, safely. Again, you're not using the weight that'll invite that injury, but it's about moving the weight as fast and as safely as possible. So for the speed day, I'm doing between 6 and 10 sets of 2. After that, we bro the fuck out. So after we hit that speed work, then we hit the machines, maybe 8 to 12 reps. So let's say we do incline chest press. We have fun, right? We're bodybuilders. At the end of the day, I'm still a bodybuilder. So I go in and I do my bro shit. I do my incline chest press. I do my hammer strength. I'll do some flies. I'm getting the pump. I'm looking great. I'm feeling great, getting nutrients all up in my system, blood flowing. I feel great. So we do that, hit some triceps, some shoulders. We're good to go. So again, shoulders, triceps, I like to vary. So I don't like to hit a lot of shoulders. What I found is that with this heavy bench press work, my shoulders are fatigued and sometimes exhausted. So what I'll do is I'll choose between, I'll either do a lateral raise or an overhead press, single arm overhead standing press with a dumbbell, a kettlebell overhead press with the bell up just to work on that shoulder mobility and stability. And then I'll do like, let's say a hammer strength shoulder press for 8 to 12 reps. But then I'll also do a rear delt, either rear delt flies bent over, or I'll do a rear delt on the pec deck. So I will do 2 shoulder movements, generally a press or a lateral raise, and then I'll hit a rear delt after it. Triceps, 1 to 2 exercises, 8 to 12 reps. The 4th day is my favorite day. That's heavy deadlifts. So last week, I actually had the opportunity to train my brother in Texas. My brother Aaron lives in Texas. And I did 495 for 6 sets of 2. Again, tons of warm-ups. For deadlift day, I'll warm up for 20 minutes. I'll foam roll. I'll do some glute ham raise. I'll do some reverse hypers. And I'm not going to failure on those. I'm just getting nice and warmed up, activating, making sure I don't get injured. My daughter, being in a club soccer season, also, she doesn't want to get injured either. So we overdo the warm-ups, but not to the point where it impedes our strength. We're not going anywhere near failure. We're just making sure that we hit that muscle. Okay. So we do that. So that would be the deadlift day. After the deadlifts, we do back movements. So I'll usually do machine rows, lat pull downs, and maybe some biceps if I'm feeling frisky. Deadlifts and another 2 movements, right? Rep range 5 to 6 reps because, again, there's a max effort day. So deadlift max effort would be day 4. Okay. Day 5 is another squat day. So yes, you are hitting legs 4 times a week or a training cycle, depending on what your week is, if you're Hebrew or not, right? So the next day is squat, but this is the fun squat. This is where you're doing box squats for speed. I like to use a safety bar, sit on the box, go up as fast as possible. So I'll do around 10 sets of 2. After that, again, bro the fuck out. Now on squat day, what weight am I using? Think like 225. If you have bands, use bands. 50% 1RM. And again, use some bands. So after that, I bro the fuck out. Think about it: bodybuilding, leg press, hack squat, belt squat, all the anterior leg movements, no posterior because we worked that on deadlift day, right? So all those movements and then some calves, then you're done. So day 6, that's my dynamic deadlift day. That's where you put the bands on, about 50% of 1RM. You hit 6 to 10 sets of 2 to 3 reps. So after that, again, you bro the fuck out. You're doing some back movement. You're getting a pump. You're feeling amazing. Day 7 is Sunday. So depending on when our last off day was, we either start with bench press, right? Or we take a day off. You need to take at least 1 day off a week, period. Why? Because God said so. That's it. And it's good to have time to be out of the gym. Like, for example, we trained, I believe, for 13 days straight, which is too much. And yesterday I felt it. After I did my my squat workout, I got done. Like, that's when I couldn't finish my workout. Now, I've never, believe it or not, in my recent history, not when I used to powerlift when I was a kid, I don't think I've ever gotten 6 sets of, I've never gotten 375 for 2 reps for more than 1 set. And even then, the reps weren't as clean and pretty as these were. These were good reps. My mobility's come up. I'm feeling really good. So on that's when I decided to call it a day and take today off. And my daughter has practice tonight. So what a better night for her to take off. Tomorrow morning, we'll be at the gym, killing it, absolutely killing it tomorrow with our heavy ass. Wait, tomorrow's actually bench. Tomorrow's a bro day, so we get to get the pump. So the beautiful thing about this is I'm training with my daughter, which is a dream come true. And another beautiful thing is that I'm interested in it, right? Like, the thing about powerlifting and doing powerlifting movements is there's no such thing as not getting the machine. Like, if you go to a Lifetime Fitness, and I train at Lifetime a lot of the mornings, especially since we're renovating Carbon. So Carbon's been under renovation. So things are crowded there, right? Because we have the big gym is closed, and that opens up on Friday with Chris Bumstead's actually in town doing an event there. So what I'll do is Lifetime has like 10 squat racks and they're all taken. Just go up to everybody and say how many sets you have, and you're bound to find somebody with just 1 set. If that's all that open, I could do everything I need to do in a garage, in any gym, anywhere. All you need is a squat rack and a bench, and you have everything you need. And of course, a barbell. I did the barbell squats. I prefer the safety bar, just for comfort. And for box squats, I do feel they're better. You can sit down and really brace yourself, especially on the speed day. But I'll tell you what, it's been a hell of a ride, and I'm really excited about the transition I'm seeing in my body. And I'm still considering I have that. So I have to get down. I'm about 200. What I say, 213 to 216 right now. I have to get down around 198. So the weight class I'm in powerlifting is 198. And just to give you perspective, I can hit every record they have at my age in the USPA for the state of Tennessee. I can hit every world record for 3 to 4 reps. So I'm sorry, state record for 3 to 4 reps. So I'm breaking every record. So I'm not really interested in going much higher, but if I keep getting stronger, I will, without feeling any aches, pains, or anything about to tear. I will go heavier, but I have to have perfect form, perfect control, perfect everything. But everything's kind of clicking. So if you want to give this program a try, I'm not going to write anything on it because it's conjugate, right? Like, I don't want to plagiarize what Laura does, what Louis did, what all these beautiful, brilliant conjugate people do. But I will tell you what, I've never been so excited about training since I turned like 36. Like, I don't know how to say this, but like I love going to the gym. I love training, but like, no, I don't need it. Like, right. Like, I didn't go to the gym today and I feel fine. It used to be when I didn't go to the gym, I'd be like, oh my God, I missed the gym. I don't feel right. I missed the gym. Now I go to the gym and I'm like, man, when do I get to leave and eat some breakfast? You know, that's kind of where I'm at right now in life. But going there and being inspired by my daughter, who is a Division I prospect athlete, who is such an up and coming athlete, it's just so exciting to be alongside someone who, it's like training alongside my daughter. I just got done watching the Redeem Team. Have you guys watched the Redeem Team on Netflix? If you have, be sure to put it in the chat. The thing about Redeem Team is Kobe. He was always on his own. And that story about when everybody else is coming back from the nightclub and they go on the elevator and there's Kobe riding the elevator down while they're trying to go up to their room because he was about to go train. He was the only one who didn't go. That's my daughter. So to be around someone with such commitment to the grind, who really loves training, has reinvigorated me to really do this. And whether I go further, whether I compete again, I don't know. I'm never going to, like I said, when I retired, man, I mean, once you're a victim or an addict to the iron game, you know, you always have it on the back of your mind that you want to beat your last performance. And the fact of the matter is, no matter what you guys think or say or what people say on the internet, you know, I don't rely on drugs. You know, I'm a TRT guy. Nothing changes. All that changes is I don't have to force feed. Like literally, I just got done forcing down my fourth meal and I'm like, okay, cool. But I don't really crave food. And especially with, you know, my supplements, like I have ambrosia and no morbidity. If I want to lose weight, I just take no morbidity. I literally have to force myself to eat. So like with no morbidity and with the way I know how to control blood sugar now, I know how to control my emotions. Competing for me is just a matter of getting really lean and feeling a little bit off. I'm not going to lie. When you get that lean, you don't feel 100%. So, you know, being able to do that and get in the zone and really give it my all and kind of set a new standard for myself. And also my kids compete every day. And, you know, they compete, you know, my son has a wrestling tournament this weekend. Preston's he's in the semifinals for his football team. They've yet to lose a game. Hopefully they keep that up. The whole season they've gone undefeated. My son has gone from just being on the field to being a contributor. He helped make the final tackle. So they won 14-13 in double overtime. And I have a picture of him with an arrow pointed. Let's see if I get it up here. And he actually was in on the final tackle that ended the game. So I was so excited for him. But like, I'm here and I don't know if you guys saw my video this morning. Like yesterday, they called football practice off for, you know, they had reasons. There's a flu going around and the coach just wanted to play it safe. And so, you know, we went in and I trained him and he trained his ass off. But anyway, I don't know if you can see this, but there's an arrow pointing to Preston in the pod. The lighting's all screwed up, but you get the point. I'm very proud of him. And Thomas, I think Thomas has a good chance to win state in wrestling as a freshman. My daughter had her best season ever as a junior in high school, moving into club. So for me, I'm literally just trying to keep up with my kids, and I still want to be the one to set the example. It's not that I'm competing with them, but let's be honest here. Our family competes. Like, we can't play ping pong. We have a ping pong table upstairs. Actually, we had a ping pong table. We moved it to put wrestling mats down so our boys can wrestle. The low blinders are very competitive people. My brother and I were telling we're actually telling, where were we? We're at the gym. We're talking to the front desk lady at Lifetime. And we were telling her a story about my brother and I were very competitive growing up, even though he's 6 years my elder. And we were in our 20s and we went to Dave & Buster's and we got the air hockey table and we kept, I'd win, he'd win. I'd win, he win. I'd win, he win. By the time we left, the table was covered in our blood because our pinkies were bleeding from where the puck kept hitting our fingers. There was blood all over the table, and we didn't even notice it. When we were, I think I was 10 years old, my brother and I were playing ping pong. We had an upstairs at the time, so my family actually had a house before we lost it. But we're playing ping pong, and I was going so hard that it was second floor. I almost fell through the second story because my ass went through the wall. In California, they built it with stucco, almost went through the external stucco. So we're extremely competitive people in my family. So it's like, all right, but that's pretty much that. That's my split. Guys, this is your time, Q&A. I rambled a little bit, but I want to know more about what you guys want to learn about. Again, there's nothing off limits, right? And again, if nobody asks questions, that's fine. We've already been talking for 25 minutes, but I want to answer your questions. We love you, Mark. No homo. Well, just a little bit of homo, just like this much homo would be nice. You were awesome on Fresh and Fit. That reminds me, I would love to go out and see them now that it's not summer. Be a great time to go to Miami, wouldn't it? Would you guys like to see me on Fresh and Fit again? I think that'd be a great idea. Unbelievable day at Tiger Fitness. It's always an unbelievable day at Tiger Fitness. What is better, push full body with quads and push full body with hamstring, or upper lower? Tony, I honestly don't like much of that, right? Like, if I'm going to do a bodybuilding split, I'm normally going to do a bro split where I'm going to do, basically your standard bro, where I'm going to do legs, chest, back, shoulders, arms, repeat. Or work arms in, or do a 4-day split, legs, chest and biceps, back, and then shoulders and triceps. Not that I'm saying that those won't be effective, but that's what I would personally do because I get bored doing those. I never could get a pump. I never really felt it, but I will tell you this. No matter what training program is superior, Tony, I want you to do what you enjoy. Like right now, is conjugate the best training for hypertrophy? No, but I'm enjoying it. So I'm getting better results than I would be doing anything else. Now, if I'm not enjoying it in 2 months, then it's time to change, because anything that you enjoy, you're going to do better at. So if you enjoy training that way, my answer is try all 3 of those. I believe there's 3 techniques that you've listed. Whichever one you like better, that's the best training program for you. From Facebook user, is the change more neurological now that the intensity and volume differs? More adherence to lifting heavy as well as volume? I do think my body has always responded to heavy lifting, right? Like, I'm not one of those guys who gets gains from doing 12 to 15 reps. The best gains I've ever had were probably 1 set to failure, but I normally choose a weight I can get about 5 reps on my own with, and then 8 to 10 reps with intensity. So I've always found that the heavier and harder I train, the more muscle I gain. And it seems that's contradictory to what a lot of people, experience, but that's what I experience. So my opinion and my suggestion to you is to do what you feel is best for you based on your experience. And how do you get that experience? Let's say you're 20 years old. How do you get that experience? Try different shit. Don't subscribe to DY training. Don't subscribe to conjugate. Don't subscribe to upper lower or push pull or any of that. What I want you to do is try everything. Okay. It's like dating, right? You want to try a blonde, a brunette, a Latina. You want to try everything. So I want you to try different things. And then when you find one you really like, marry it. But then if you get tired of it, divorce it and marry someone else. You see what I'm saying? But only marry someone else if you play the field a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Speaking as someone who's been married with my wife for 25 years, that analogy was completely fake. I don't subscribe to any of that personally, but okay. KC, my boy. So the compression socks. Yes. I'm going to I keep forgetting. So I linked it a few videos ago. If I remember, I'll link it after this. In fact, if I could find it, I'll link it in the chat. I'm actually going on it right now. but I actually do recommend getting these compression socks that I wore and wearing them during long drives or during flights, because it basically acts as a compression. And what compression does is it prevents blood from pooling. So I've found that it really helps me. It helps me recover. It helps me stay healthy. It helps a lot of things. And when I get off of flights, I don't feel like my legs are dead. Okay. So sitting at a desk most of the day, I think it will help me. So during the sweat season or the winter season, which are not quite in yet, I plan on wearing them every day. Sub Raphael, how you doing? So when am I coming back to Houston? I have not been touring. I've been going on business trips. Dallas was a straight business trip. Unfortunately, Houston has no place on my itinerary right now. But if there is, I'll let you know first, my bro. What's up, Saw Dog? Yep, the morning grind, baby. The morning grind. Morning workouts are one of my favorite ways to start the day. Absolutely. Morning workouts. Definitely. I like training anytime, though. Like every time I train in the morning, I'm like, that was the best. I'm going to train in the morning. Then after like a week, I'm like, fuck, I'm tired. Then I'm like, I'll train at like 5 p.m. I'm like, dude, evening's the way to go. Then after like the third day, I'll be like, fuck, I miss the mornings. Basically, I just love training. I don't need to train, but I love it. And I love it. I love it conditionally because I don't love it the same every time. You guys are the best and most legit company. Thanks for existing, Jason. I speak on behalf of the entire staff of tigerfitness.com. We love you and we appreciate all of your support. I need to get back to morning workouts, so I'm not liking evenings. I go through the same internal struggle myself. Real bodybuilders are on a Hebrew calendar. Hold on. All right. We got the Hebrew shit going on now. All right, we got you, Corey. Am I making any appearances in Orlando? Steve, So my daughter has a soccer tournament between January 6th and January 8th. I'm going to try to do an event on the 7th. As soon as I have the schedule worked out, what I need you to do, actually, I do have some gyms, Kissimmee Muscle, a couple others. I would love to do an event in Orlando. And what I need from you, Steve, is I need you to make sure that people show up, because nothing is worse than doing an event and nobody shows up. So I will be there in Orlando between January 6th and 8th. And there's nothing I love more than to say what's up to y'all. Just for fun, what is your favorite health and fitness brand that you aren't financially invested in? Let me think about that for 1 second. Does it have to be sport nutrition? Because I'll tell you what, I really like the Breath Belt. We sell them on Tiger Fitness. I'm going to link it here. The Breath Belt, you see, I'm wearing it in every video. I actually wear it during my full workout because it helps me to brace myself, because what it does, it cues your psoas. And I'm just looking it up right now. I've really enjoyed it. So I'm going to link up the Breath Belt. Hopefully that helps you a little bit. If it has to be a supplement company, bro, I really wish I had something for you, but I only take my own brands. So I'd be lying to you. I'll tell you who I like. I've always loved Doug Miller. I love my business partner, Sean at Ambrosia. He owns HPN. I say HPN, makers of NAD3 and PA7. HPN. See, that not only strokes my business partner, and we sell that on ambrosiacollective.com, but I'd have no ownership of those brands. But the owner of that company does own Ambrosia with me. So yeah, I want him to get rich. So there is a conflict of interest and a bias. But I'm being honest, I don't take anything but my brands. And I will take NAD3. Hi from Tucson, Arizona. What's up, Mark? Beautiful, beautiful place out there, man. I was out there for a soccer tournament in March. And if it wasn't already 100 degrees in March, I love it there. Great place, great people. I'm 54 years old, 5'10", 180 at 7% body fat. How do you address muscular imbalances? My left leg is recovering from an injury and much weaker and flexible than my right. So the bottom line is unilateral training. So if you were training with me, I would have you do a lot of things to strengthen that leg. I'd have you do slant board. Why am I blank? Slant board Bulgarian split squats. I'd have you do split squats, a lot of lunges, a lot of single leg Romanian deadlifts, both opposite and same arm. Pistol squats. Basically, I'd have you work out both legs equally, yet on their own. Hopefully that helped. I wish I could do, if you ever, let me, Mark, I don't do this because my time is very valuable right now. Not saying that to brag, but like my calendar is so fucked. And I have to fly to board meetings and shit. And I have board meetings 2 days a week. Tuesday and Thursday are my busiest days because I have board meetings all day. If you're ever in Franklin, Tennessee, if you could come out here, go visit Nashville, go on the party bus, get crunk, come back here and come over to Carbon Culture or Legacy at Carbon, and I will show you everything in my toolbox. Okay. That offer stands, Mark. What would you rate your reps from failure for most of your sets? 1, 2, 3? Well, I mean, if you're powerlifting, so if I'm doing, let's say if I'm doing conjugate, it's my max effort day. So my first set is relatively probably 2 reps, but my last set 6 or whatever many sets I'm doing, it's usually, that's my failure. Like I'm usually right at failure with my last set. So I don't, but when I'm warming up, I'm probably 6, 7 reps from failure. But when I'm at my max set, it depends on what set of the workout. So if I'm on set 3 of 6, I got some gas in the tank. If I'm on set 5 or 6 of 6, I'm fucked. Like I'm working my ass off trying not to die. Thanks for the detailed regimen. Keep grinding and big ups to your kid. Thank you, Daniel. Mark, again, what time is your first meal usually and what time is your last meal? So generally speaking, lately I've been going to bed at 11 p.m. and waking up at around 5:30 a.m. So my last meal is usually around like 9:30 or 10 p.m. It's usually 2 scoops of MTS whey with made into a brownie. And I'll usually top it with some like granola or I'll mix oatmeal in it for my carbs. So my first meal, if I train first thing in the morning, I have an outright bar pre-workout. So if I train at, let's say 5:30 a.m., on the way to the gym, I will eat an outright bar. Gym's about, if I go to Lifetime, it's 6 minutes. If I go to Carbon, it's about 11 minutes. So I'll eat that on the way while drinking my pre-workout. And then I'll have my first meal after training. And training is usually, that meal will usually be, either eggs or egg whites or a mix of each, depending on how I'm feeling that day, with 2 slices of Dave's bread or some sweet potatoes or white potatoes. And I'll usually have that around, assuming I don't have a client in the morning, because I do still train people occasionally at Carbon Culture. I'll usually have that around like 9. But if I don't have that, if I don't come home, if I go straight to train folks, then I'll usually have an outright bar before I train them and eat breakfast at around 10:30 or 11. From Daniel Woods, you can always, I don't recommend partials on your weaker legs. I don't recommend partials at all, unless like a box squat is considered a partial. I like to do a full range of motion. It's like having a partial boner. Like, what can you do with a partial boner? You either get a full boner or there's no boner at all. Partial boner is useless. Go for a full boner, fully erect. When will we see a follow-up videos on your wife's health and fitness program since her operation? Chuck, I'm glad you brought that up. My wife does not really like coming on YouTube and talking about herself. And to be honest, I don't either, but I do it because it's kind of what I do. My wife will, I'll get her to do that hopefully this week. Good reminder. Thank you. Cat or dog person? I have no cats. I like cats. I like them. But I have none. My daughter's allergic to cats. I'd have to get one of those weird ass looking bald cats. So I have 2 dogs that don't shed because my daughter's allergic to dogs too. I have golden doodles. I have a golden doodle named Blaze and a golden doodle named Ruckus. Do you like pumpkin spice foods? So I do like the pumpkin pie outright bar. I love it. Really like it. But I'm not really a big pumpkin guy. Now, Costco sells a really delicious pumpkin cheesecake. Man, I do so many inappropriately gay things for that, huh? Mark, you did great on the news and why it matters. That's why I started following you. Thank you, Daniel. By the way, Sarah is such a gorgeous human being. Such a gorgeous, I mean, inside and out. What a beautiful person. I'm going heavier now to try to catch up to you. I'm 5'7.5" as well. Daniel, the one thing about being 5'7.5", if anybody ever forgets the half, that's like calling us the N-word. The half inch is everything. Like 5'7", you're short, right? 5'7.5", that's special. I recently started having a lot of successful anterior posterior training split. Days 1 and 2 would be primary, be the quads and hamstrings, the press pull secondary, then vice versa on days 3 and 4. I believe after I got Exos, I believe I'm one of the first ones to really promote or popularize doing the anterior posterior split in this industry. I could be mistaken. If I am, who cares? I love it. And it's how I currently train. I believe Conjugate is very much like that. I do this because the anterior sessions work well with squats, leading to push freestyle movements. I feel working the chain as a whole helps. Yep, absolutely. Thank you for the offer, Mark. I will take you up at it when I'm at that point. It stands. Do you ever get mucus diarrhea? You're talking about grunt spit, right? Not for a while. No, I haven't had it in a while, but I can't say that I have never had it. So that does it, man. Any questions, ask them in the next couple minutes and I'll get to it. But anyway, it's been 40 minutes. I got to get I got to get some work done. Then I got to take Thomas to soccer. I have to pick him up from wrestling and take him to soccer. So again, this has been great. Hopefully we'll do these multiple times a week. Hopefully you can set a time for it so you guys know when to sign on. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. See you guys next time.